Hey everybody, and welcome to Super Comic Fun Times Darkseid Week. This is going to be part 3 in our look at the Darkseid War, which right now I have the cover off because it's just easier to read for traveling without the slipcover. And I'm also want to say at the outset, I'm testing a new app. This app lets me pause, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I just paused it and started it again. This is in case I get interrupted for some reason and it's just easier to be able to pause. I'm hoping the quality will be the same, so we will have to see. At any rate, when last we left, Superman came out of the fire pits on Apocalypse, which are somehow solar. I don't know the whole makeup of Apocalypse, but when he came out, he absorbed the, quote, solar energy of Apocalypse's fire pits, and he came out this kind of a negative Superman. And so we come into here. I like this part a lot. I think one of the keys to this whole thing is going to end up being the Joker. So let's just go ahead and read this because it's so good. There was one God my mother hated above all others. His name was Gallows. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't speak Greek. The god of laughter. My mother didn't despise Gallows because the Amazons don't believe in laughter. Nothing. It might not appear evident at times, but they believe in joy, happiness, and love. Gallows did not. He followed my mother like a shadow across the battlefield, laughing at those in pain, jeering at men and women dying. He was invisible to us. No matter where you stood, you could hear his cackling. It haunted her. And so, like, we're making the tie-in between Batman and the Joker as we enter this one. So, if you remember, Batman and the Green Lantern are going off in search of the creation of the Anti-Monitor, because that's the one thing the Mobius chair doesn't know. So they end up back on the crime syndicate's world. And here Batman kind of insults. It's like they're kind of arguing, and I've seen the cartoon, even though I haven't read the first Justice League book in the New 52. I know Batman and the Green Lantern. The Green Lantern comes off kind of a jerk in the cartoon, and they kind of have this rivalry going. I can't remember too much from what I've read. I've read a lot of DC books in the last 2 years, but not enough that it's sunk in like some things. Like if I had been reading as a kid, I would know better whether Batman and the Green Lantern have always been kind of these rivals. At any rate, Batman is just saying, "You're not a hero, Jordan. It's the ring that's the hero. Guess that chair doesn't just give you answers, it makes you kind of an ass. Maybe you're right, Batman. Maybe the ring does do everything for me. But we're on the horizon of a war that I want to stop, and I assume you still want to stop. We need to travel to another world." So yeah, so they come back here to the Earth One, or wherever it is the crime syndicate is from, and they decide they have to go back to where the Anti-Monitor. It's like, we need to travel to a world. Oh no, you've been too many times. You've banished Sinestro 2. We need to go to the birthplace of the Anti-Monitor, the planet Quard. Waging across the battlefield, I listen for laughter. So like you got this Gallows theme playing throughout the book. And then here you have the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid going at it. And it's pretty good art. I don't know how effective it is for battle. It's like none of the superheroes can do anything because you've got these two titans going after each other. Yeah, she's still going on about Gallows and how she can't hear anything. So then we come to the siblings. We have Grail here. This confused me at first. I didn't notice Grail before. It's like half her head is kind of shaved, like a very tight cut, and the other. So this just confused me. This threw me when I first saw it. I guess here you can see it better, but for whatever reason, I didn't notice it. And like, sometimes like here the art. Let's see. Yeah, here the art looks a bit like like how you say. I mean, it looks almost like her head just stops here, and like the other half that's flowing. It's a little confusing. Anyway, she blinds her brother, whose name I forget right now. Kikado. Let's just go back a second. Here we go, Calabac. So yeah, she blinds Calabac. He's got a big Modoc type face. I mean, this reminds me of very Kirby-esque type stuff that I can remember. And 1212, the New Gods is coming, so I'll be able to see how he actually drew Calabac. I don't think I've ever seen the New Gods. I've probably seen art from it, but I've never really seen anything. So yeah, this is how the story goes. Then like, we have the Batman and Green Lantern, and like then you have Wonder Woman's comments come in at the, thoughts come in at the bottom of the page. Then you get like a bit of her stuff, and then the Superman is coming in now. So the next page is going to be Superman and Lex. And so Superman is like, he's kind of, he's not evil, but he's not good. He's kind of like anti-hero Superman at this point. He's definitely not a hero, but I mean, he came out of the pit and he was like he said, I should have killed you a long time ago. And it's like Luthor is saying, well, he's like kind of taunting him. He goes, why don't we finish our earlier conversation? If I lost my powers, I wouldn't be human. I suppose biologically that's true. We're very different, you and I. Take now, for example, and he's like saying, I can see you sweating. And he goes, or preparing for a fight. He goes, a fight? What fight would that be, Luthor? You and I? Do you honestly believe you really stood a chance against me? You've come close before for one reason. I held back. And then like here we got you, and you cannot fight it anymore. So here like we have Grail and Wonder Woman fighting. And yeah, so like, part of then you have like Power Ring, and she wants to do it because I don't know her backstory. That's the only hard thing, is like they don't really recap her story in this. And I know like from Forever Evil that the guy who had Power Ring came from the crime syndicate's world, and the ring went off looking for somebody else. And of course this must be the person it found, but I don't know why it found her. I don't know, it looks for weak people that it can exploit. It's evil. And so like here she's like overcoming it, and she wants to, she's making a construct, and she wants to defeat somebody. I don't know if she's fighting Calabac or Darkseid. It's like, but the ring is taunting her. It says, you'll die, then I die. It will hurt. I mean, he's like appealing to all of her baser, more protective type things. Then Darkseid is enough. He goes, yes, my lover, call him. So like she's known all along what Darkseid would do. So she's even able to manipulate Darkseid. And you never see them talk, but she knows what he's going to do. You were right, Mother. Father grows desperate. He's summoning him. And of course, it's the Black Racer. Like, I don't know if you know who the Black Racer is. I came across the Black Racer in one of the crises. I think it was Grant Morrison's Final Crisis. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I know Hal Jordan was in the Speed Force. I think that's where we find out he's still alive, and he's being chased by the Black Racer, and he's outrunning death itself. He goes, I smell it. Death is here. Calabac. I got to keep saying his name. Calabac. He goes, Jessica, I warned her. So like here you think Power Ring Girl is dead, or Jessica is dead. And then like the Black Racer zips through. He goes, kill them. And then of course we're going to switch scenes again. And we have Green Lantern, and they are on Quard. And then they're talking about Mobius. He goes, this is where we find out like the origin of Mobius / the Anti-Monitor. He was here. He built the chair here. His chair, the Mobius chair. His name was Mobius. He came here to see the forbidden. So like in Greek, this would be what? Let's see. Tartarus. Tartarus is a place, it's like worse than hell. It's like a place where you're kind of uncreated, and 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 even though the bravest man can go wise. So this is an allusion to Tartarus, because this whole thing is kind of a retelling of mythology to some extent. Because he came here to see the forbidden, and he was cursed because of it. So, and then of course we go back. Okay, we have like the final thought of the Green Lantern. What was forbidden, Bruce? What did he see? And then we come here and we see them fighting. She lied to you. Your painful existence is over. I see the beginning of our universe. Free will was at its center. Yeah, this is an important point here. The white light from where everything came splintered into existence, gods and men. But what sat rotting in the center of the antimatter universe, what was the source of its creation? It's down there. It was, until Mobius unleashed it. It changed him into what he is, the living embodiment. Darkseid doesn't know. So like, yeah, right here, Darkseid doesn't know that, what's his name, the Anti-Monitor / Mobius, is got the anti-life equation within him. So here the Black Racer, he comes and he possesses the Flash because he needs a body. And I had to be here to see, to understand, to discover Mobius was the first to find it. He touched it. What the hell are you talking about? What was in here? I know your one weakness. A voice telling me they must die. He must die. Stop screaming. Flash! And you know more than anyone, our universe was founded on free will, Jordan. But this one, the antimatter universe, there is no free will here. There is only the opposite. I was changed into this because I held what you want. I am forever bound to it. The anti-life equation is in my veins. And so this would be a dun, 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 because that has been the quest of Darkseid forever, and he gets denied it. I mean, you know, this is like, this, I don't know, this book is just full of spectacular art. And so you got, and so like everybody can feel like this all across. Even Calabac, see, I'm getting his name down by repeating it. I'll probably forget tomorrow. A god is dead. Something isn't right. The world erupts. Buildings fall. The energy explodes from him like blood shooting into the sky. It goes silent. Then I hear laughter. So Darkseid dies, and Diana can hear, Wonder Woman can hear the laughter of Gallows. Then here we come into what I think is the final chapter of the Darkseid War, After Death, Part 1, Chapter 5, at least for now. So ping, now ping is like the thing that Mother Box does. Something is very wrong. And so does Bruce's chair. The Omega Sanction. Darkseid is, then what do we see here? Dead. Since the day humans looked up to the gods, they have wandered. Ah, you can't see that. There we go. I'm not sure about this app. Let's just see if I can make one adjustment. Okay, so we're at about 14 minutes. There's probably a little bit of a weird glitch. And can a god die? So yeah, that's just to reiterate, since I went here, she's like thinking, you know, since we were able to look up to the gods, we've wondered, can a god die? Yes, Darkseid is dead, Scott. You are free. Ping, so that's the Mother Box. Then here we come into what I think is the final chapter of the Darkseid War, After Death, Part 1, Chapter 5, at least for now. So ping, now ping is like the thing that Mother Box does. Something is very wrong. And so like everybody can feel like this all across. Even Calabac, see, I'm getting his name down by repeating it. I'll probably forget tomorrow. A god is dead. Something is very wrong. And so like Yeah, so like here, it's like in an art like this, sometimes it's hard to tell how to read. So here's the question. Is it true, Mother Box? Yes, Darkseid is dead, Scott. Ping, you are free. Shouldn't we be worried that the Anti-Monitor and his shadows up and disappeared and his crew didn't even stick around to gloat? Did I do that? And so like here, Flash is this is the first time he has time to reflect on what he's become. When a god dies, new gods are born. Yes. And if a god can die, what happens next? New gods are born. Did I kill Darkseid? You didn't kill him, Flash. It was so awful. I could feel him die. I could see it. The Black Racer did it, not you. What or who is the Black Racer? Darkseid's greatest weapon. He claimed he captured death, or an aspect of it, when he first took control of Apocalypse. But death could only be communicated with by anchoring it to a sentient host. So in a sense, it's like you wonder, why has if Darkseid has control of death or an aspect of death, why does he need the anti-life equation? And again, like hopefully I'll find some of these answers after 1212 when that big book comes. So then we go back to Superman and Lex's story. Goes, can you hear it, Luthor? I can. I hear across Apocalypse. The mother boxes have told the slave masters told the slaves, and everyone knows. Ding dong, the witch is dead. So we know, for one thing, the New 52 Superman is a fan of The Wizard of Oz. The energy from the pits, Superman. You need help before it destroys your cells. Now, like, what I know of this Lex, like, when I first meet him in the Forever Night, he seems pretty evil, but then he seems to have a shift, and I think he's more of an anti-hero. He wants to be a hero, but he can't quite commit. He can't commit to the bit, as some people say. And so, like, him and Superman, I think there's a certain jealousy he has of Superman, and that's always been part of Lex's character. I don't need you for anything, Luthor. My cells are fine. I like how he does it in quotes. Were you able to tell they were in quotes when I said, my cells are fine and charged with enough power to leave this festering hole of a world and go home. But you, Luthor, you're not going anywhere. And so, like, what happens is Superman abandons Lex Luthor here. And then, like, here we get Superman, God of Strength. So I don't remember, like, oh yeah, the Flash. Can you see that here? God of Death. The Flash, God of Death. And then we're getting like a list of the new gods. Superman, the God of Strength. And these will come in much later in the story. So here we go. We got the classic Up, Up, and Away. Okay. And so like here, he's dead. And then we're, this is how you know you're about to transition. So you can have like this closing scene. Luthor sees like these people coming in a dust cloud on the distance. Darkseid is dead. It's over. So there we got Batman. We're back to Batman and Green Lantern. The war is over. It's time to go home. Hey, wait a second, Bats. What about the Anti-Monitor? He touched the anti-life equation, Jordan. It turned him into that creature. Now that creature is gone, as if it never existed. The threat is over. I can turn my attention back to what's important. With the Mobius chair, I can finally be Batman. I can finally be the Batman that Gotham needs. So then here we got Batman, God of Knowledge. So we got the God of Death, the God of Strength, and the God of Knowledge. Without Darkseid, so like then Batman tells the Green Lantern that since the parademons have lost their home, and if you ever saw Babylon 5, it's like the end of Babylon 5 when the shadows die, all the creatures that they controlled leave Zahadun, and so Batman tells him that that the Green Lantern's gonna be needed on Oa. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Usually I pronounce it fine, but I don't have to say it because I'm pronouncing it in my head. Then we're back to Luthor, And we're told that there's a prophecy that when Darkseid leaves, there will be a man from Metropolis who will take over leadership of Apocalypse. The blind prophet has written that on the night of Darkseid's death, a human would walk through the ashes of Apocalypse, and everything would change. It was written this human was a great hero from a place called Metropolis. He had saved his world many times. This man would bring the same hope he spread on his world to ours. He is an orphan, a humble son of farmers, seeker of truth, and the embodiment of justice. Are you that man? And of course, Luther, we know, has seen Ghostbusters, because if somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. If somebody asks you if you're a great hero and they got you in chains, you just say, yep, that's me. But then he still has to stay in the chains because there's still more to the prophecy. He has to earn it. He hasn't earned it yet. Well, she's probably doesn't have that voice. He hasn't earned it yet. Okay, then we go back to the Flash. I am death. You're talking crazy, Flash. The razor is in your head. It's doing something to you. Don't be frightened, Power Ring. So she's still alive, like, you know. That death didn't. If death didn't exist, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't value life as we do. Don't you see? Death isn't evil. The darkness is calling them home. A chill, an echo, a shadow cast, but always remembered. Death never stops chasing you. You can't escape it. I thought differently, but it's there. We'll all die someday. Today. And then, like, that's the Black Racer talking, and it's like, no, that isn't right. So, like, Flash is kind of fighting from the inside. And then we have to find out who our next god is. So we have Shazam here. And what's he saying? We should all be concerned by that, right? I mean, I'm not nearly as fast as a Flash, but I bet Cyber can track. And then, like, he screams, I will not give my powers. So, like, yeah, he's got all these voices in his head now. Shazam, the god of gods. And, like, so what we find out is, like, he's got, is it 6 new gods? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, well, at least 5 new gods, possibly 6. I'm not sure if this is a different voice. So, because, like, you know, Shazam is made up of what? The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, what's his name? The Greek guy, or was it his strength? I forget. And then, like, Zeus is in there too. So, like, he's always had his power made up of gods, even though Solomon isn't really a god. He was a king, but he was a very powerful king. So, yeah, so there we got our new god, Shazam, the god of gods. So we have the god of death, Batman, the god of knowledge, Superman, the god of strength, Shazam, the god of gods. Did I forget somebody yet? I forget. You have your own problems. Father is dead. So are you. Wake up, human. So, like, here, yeah, we're back with Lex on Apocalypse, and he's being transformed into whatever he's supposed to be. So you kind of wonder if he hadn't thrown Superman into that pit, and Superman stayed, would he be getting this treatment now? With Darkseid's death, his Omega effect has been unleashed. It will return here to Apocalypse. We will contain it in you. Wait. If you are a hero worthy of this power, as you claim, you will survive. Ping! If not, you will die. Adora, I see a red star. It's not a red star. It's the Omega effect returning. This is the test. Oh, the test is now human. So it's a pretty good test. And I kind of like this art because it's kind of like, it reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey near the end, some of the effects there. He's becoming Mobius. See, where's the Anti-Monitor? He's in the shadows, Mother. He's changing. He's becoming Mobius. Yes, he will reveal himself to us. And then I get what I want. So I'm not sure what she wants yet. Darkseid is dead. Long live Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor is the god of apocalypse. So I think we're going to draw it to a close there, and we're going to put this book on hiatus for a while. We've gone through just a fascinating story, and there's still quite a bit left. And I've read through here, and all of these are individual stories. They don't really tie together like this. So maybe we can get some different videos out there. Let me know what you want. If you want to see more from this book, I'm not sure what happens after the individual stories. I think the story continues because at the beginning of this book, we had the title, Chapter 5, After Death Part 1. So there's got to be an After Death Part 2, and it's not immediately following this. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this new app. Hopefully the quality is good. If it isn't good, then I'll just go back to doing it the way I was. I expected to be interrupted during this video, so I'm happy I managed to get through it all. And I thank you for watching. I love all you guys out there. I still haven't seen Justice League the movie. Hopefully I will cap off Justice League week tomorrow or Sunday by seeing the movie. I'm looking forward to seeing this movie, even though, as you see from the tomato meter video I did, it didn't get very high, but it did get higher than a lot of other movies, and I think it'll be fun. I've watched some of the reviews already, and I'm just looking for a fun movie out of it, and hopefully the movie at least gives me a better understanding of these characters. I really liked Wonder Woman because of that. I think reading Wonder Woman in the books, I don't always get a sense of her character, but in the movie, she's a fully realized human being. So that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing. And you know, even like what's his name as Lex Luthor, I heard somebody making fun of it in one of their reviews, and I'm thinking, he sounds like Jeff Goldblum. From, you know, if would Jeff Goldblum as Lex Luthor, would people like that better? Because it sounds like, I can't remember the actor's name, but it sounds like the Lex Luthor in the movie is kind of like doing a Jeff Goldblum shtick. At least that's what I heard, and that's probably a spoiler. So I'll try to put a spoiler tag. Again, I love you guys. Be sure to subscribe, share the video, give it a thumbs up. Check below for the links to my social media and my Amazon affiliate. Remember, you support this channel by starting your Amazon shopping from my comic book and graphic novel page, and that'll be a big help to me. Again, I love you. This is Super Comic Fun Time out. Keep reading comics.